Kamatut. Sadi karamain the sector san channels. Tono pahu pahu. Hadi see.
Yeah, I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight.
Emotional damage.
What's up, guys? Good to see you guys tonight. Just play with the clips tonight. I've got like a bunch of reactions that I've got to upload. They're coming. But it's good to see everybody here today. We're going to have a great one on the legal mindset. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire. That's where we teach you to be your own judge. And I've wanted to do this for a while, and I'm working on this kind of series. It's going to be a playlist now that I've got 2 videos concretely. And I think I've got a third one talking about VTuber contracts, and we're going to do that in the future. But sort of talking more about the business of VTubing and the behind the scenes, what goes on, all the work that may not always be as flashy as the VTubing itself, as the, headlining VTubers, right? Is the business going on behind the scenes? And we talked with Alicia last week. And that was an absolutely amazing conversation. I had so much fun. It was just a great stream. I had a great time hanging out with everybody. And today, after a recommendation from Alicia, we have an artist to talk about models. And I'm really excited about this, to get into this. But before that, let me get these quick, because we had some folks doing membership stuff in the interim. So Ivison Nightfall, welcome as a member of the Base Legal Mindset. Absolutely 100% a Giga Chad for doing the Base Legal Mindset, the highest level sub. Appreciate y'all. Also, real quick, Derp says, keep it based, Florida lawyer. You fucking know it. And Herzog Karl von Österreich Tschechien with Sen Legal Mindset memberships. Vielen Dank. Appreciate that. Grüß Gott over there to my folks in Österreich. Appreciate you very, very much. Absolutely 100%.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
You guys have been killing it with the memberships. I want to say thank you so much. It really helps me do this coverage. And today's a day where I do doubles. It's not often I do doubles, but it felt like there was a lot of stuff to cover. And especially if I have an interview, I often will do doubles on days when I have an interview, because there's just news I need to cover and get out there ASAP. But without further ado, let me introduce the fantastic Sulia. Sulia, welcome to the stream.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm very happy to have you here. Thank you. Good afternoon to you, evening for me. But yeah, it's really good to have you here and be having this conversation. I've been really excited to talk more and learn more about the art side of VTubing and learn more about the process, how it's done, how long it takes. So yeah, thank you for joining me.
Thanks so much to you again. Honestly, it's an honor being here, and I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to tell you everything about making art of the models.
Absolutely. So before we get into it, though, can you tell the folks what you want, a little bit about yourself? Like what I like to know is like when you got into VTubing maybe, and kind of like your like general background when it comes to like art. Right. So people know a little bit more about yourselves, like as an artist, and then like getting into VTubing.
Well, I actually was, before becoming a VTuber artist, I was an illustrator on my own, on my free time as a hobby. I was doing it while I was at university, actually, and COVID happened. And so since I stayed a little bit more home, I started like opening Twitch and stuff like that. And so these very interesting avatars going on there. And I was very, very intrigued by how cool they looked. And I was like, you know what? I can try to make one. I can try to see how it works. So I got more into VTubing. I understood what it was. And I fell in love with that word. And I started making models of my own. And with time and a lot of effort and a lot of more and more practice, I was able to make it for other people too.
So is your current model like an iteration of your original model, or is it like completely different than the original model that you made?
It is kind of similar. Like it is the same exact base, the same exact colors. It just kind of evolved with time. My first models were very wonky. I was actually not that good at drawing them or making them at all. So I let's say like was kind of, again, an evolution. With time, I became a little bit better. And this is the latest one that I made in April, May, I think. I don't remember anymore.
Well, it's quite a great model. Getting a lot of love from the audience here, from people. That's a really nice model. People giving you a lot of love. And I guess is your crew the Sulianauts? Are you the Sulianauts? Is that your
yeah, my crew is the Sulianauts. Yeah, I saw a couple of them there. I
love it. I love it. And real quick, guys, just so you know, she is Sulia DH on Twitch, which is your primary platform, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yep. I like this. Italian self-taught artist. I draw way too many thick waifus. Bring coffee.
I mean, you're that right.
They're gonna get zero complaints from here. So you're there, and then you're on Twitch as well. On Twitch, it is Sulia VTuber, so you can catch that over there on Twitch, where you've got your socials there, right? Your promo codes, right? Your overall link there to all your socials right there. And then, of course, I'll because some people in the chat are
Degenerates. You guys degenerates.
For those of you that want something spicier, you've of course got a Patreon as well, right? So you've got a lot of options here for socials to follow Sulia. You've got Patreon, you've got Twitch, you've got Twitter. Pick your poison, and be your own judge. So that's say. When you got into VTubing, were there any specific VTubers that really fascinated you or interested you, like some that you were really interested in, or maybe they had really cool models, like anybody that popped out to you?
I think one of the first ones that I saw was probably Fruit or Apricot. She made, I think I remember at the time she made her own model, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. An artist that made their own model, that's pretty rad. And then from that point on, it was a rabbit hole. I found other VTubers, like for example, Yuniho. She is another Italian artist, and like she made her own model that was pretty badass. And I was like, you know what? I might give it a shot. I might try. And
that kind of inspired you to get into it, right? Seeing those folks,
yes,
and like seeing how they, yeah. Let me get to here. I'm here for Scuff is the new member.
Well, great. Love to see that.
You are guaranteed Scuff on my stream. Absolutely 100% guaranteed Scuff. Although I will say I'm a little less scuffy now that I'm in Bangkok instead of Manila. So, it's like 10% less scuff. I tend to have things a little bit more figured out here because this is more like well set up as my studio. I've got a new light I got to put in, but other than that, I'm pretty much set with this studio. I don't change it much. But yeah, thank you. King Conda said, if you told me 4 months ago that everything that has happened until now, I'd say you were crazy. If you told me I would be covering VTubers into the future and beyond, at the infinity beyond, like 6 months ago, I would have said you were fucking crazy. Now I'm here and I'm fucking loving it. It's great. It's absolutely great.
You can never predict what's going to happen. You can never predict it.
Nope. Let's see. Kid Loco said, hello, this is a surprise. I had a model, but I'm not sure if I should go to the VTuber or other reasons. I'd still need a new laptop and PC in place. Yeah. I saw Pip had a really good stream. It was really informative on the basics of becoming a VTuber. It was actually really well done. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just the model, right? Because obviously the model is step one.
Yeah, the model is like, I think the thing that everybody sees, but they do not know most of the time what goes behind the scenes, whatever it's about, like whatever you have at home. You talked a little bit about this with Alicia already, like about what device to use the model. Yeah. That already, like, it's something that people do not know that much. And same goes with the PC that you have or laptop that you have, because it doesn't need to be that expensive or that like powerful, but you need to remind yourself that you're going to have, the model open, the camera open, and then whatever like thing that you are going to use, whatever it's going to be, like a game or like like another sort of program, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, for sure, those are the things that not a lot of people do not find the chance to talk about it often. Like, it's not like a very big secret. I think every single VTuber out there has, like, in the about section what they have as a computer and what they use.
Yeah, and that's pretty pivotal. And the other thing is what you're doing, because obviously if you're doing like FPS, first person shooter games, or like something that's super PC intensive, you know, a lot of those folks have a separate computer for gaming and then one for streaming. So, you know, in and out, of course, if you're just doing, you know, playing tic-tac-toe or something, you know, Pokemon Blue or something like that, or, you know, Fire Emblem, that's not too intensive on your PC. But if you're running the software for VTubing, in addition to running that, you've got some issues, right? Even my computer had some issues when I would be running certain things in the background, in addition to streaming, right? It got a little bit of overheating. So you've got to be kind of careful when you're, you know, thinking about what you've got. And if you've got a potato, then maybe you've got to upgrade.
Yeah, kind of. Like, I can think about myself that I don't game that much on stream. I always draw. So my computer, I built it on purpose to be able to sustain like huge maybe canvases on like the drawing program that I use while I use the model and while I stream. But that one time that I tried to play some game, everything lagged. Everything was about to explode because I haven't thought about it. I generally didn't thought about that part at first.
Yeah, that's actually like really important. And for those that are thinking about getting into it, right? I like that Pokemon Blue is the default. Well, I owned Red first. So me and my brother, we did the thing where like he got one and I got the other so we could trade Pokemon. And
clever.
So I got Red, I got Blue, and then we have a third brother, and he of course got Yellow because, you know,
the third one.
Deal with Pikachu, motherfucker. So, I didn't like that. Like, take the rat. But no, like it was, yeah, that definitely is my default, and maybe that puts me as a millennial, but it is what it is. Hey, Loco said, gotta continue with my video logos in the channel. Oh, well, cool. And Ramen Boy says, I'm curious, what makes a good VTuber? Is it a good model or having a good community? Oh, what would you say about that?
This is a nice question. I do 100% believe that what makes a good VTuber is having a good community. Like, I think that's all about it. Like, I've seen this kind of discourse a lot of times on a lot of places. It's not like only one social or anything. It's everywhere. People do generally think that having a good model means everything, but it's not really like this. Like, the model kind of represents you, but doesn't represent what you do. It doesn't represent your content. If I had like a little like scribble as a model or a little stickman, it wouldn't matter. At the end of the day, people that are gonna watch you are gonna watch you for what you do. Of course, the model helps. Of course, the model like makes you look cooler and like however style you want. But what's most important is your community. Who watches you?
Yeah, and a community for sure. And community is built by, and some people are saying it in the chat, content, right? And personality content, right? Like if you're entertaining, if you're a good entertaining streamer, which a lot of people are mentioning here, that's going to build a good community. And honestly, if you're entertaining and people like you, they're willing to watch you like do MS Paint, right? You can go do
literally, yeah.
Like, because they watch you, right? Like when people watch, you know, whoever, right? Whether it's like Pippa, Gura, whatever, they're tuning in for that person. They're not. And to be frank, they probably don't care what game they're not that invested in what game they're playing at a particular time. They're invested in the actual person because they think they're really cool and fun, and they want to see them do cool, fun stuff, right? So yeah, I think that it's probably one of those traps, and you've probably seen this, Sulia, where people will want a super crazy, intense model, and they haven't even built a community yet or decided what their content is. They just want like a really intense model, like right off rip.
Yeah, it's a thing that I've seen, especially because I make VTuber models. I've had a lot of people like coming up to me, asking me genuinely like, oh, I want to commission you for a model. And although like I make it with like a lot of love, I of course put my 100% on them. I feel bad because then they are too scared to start streaming. Sometimes it really just happens that people really want to become VTubers without, you know, starting to stream. you need to start somewhere, and it's okay to start with a good model, and it's okay to start with a shitty model, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I did. I'm not like a person that started with a huge model. So yeah, as there is the
Totally
comment
fine.
there, I do agree. Like it's great to start from the basics, and PNG models are the best way to do so because they're not expensive and they can still do great things, especially nowadays. Because when I started out, I actually started with the PNG tuba before having a shitty VTuber. I did do a big downgrade at the time. But a lot of people love the PNG tuber. They thought it was pretty cute. And even at the time, it was just like lighting up and darkening when I didn't speak. Now they can actually have movements in physics, which is crazy. And you don't need to pay a lot.
I've got my ping tuber set up so I can like do the motion, like do the speaking and not. I don't have it set up right now because I have to mess with my OBS and it like takes me a second to fiddle with it. I can't smoothly transition over right now because I'm a boomer. But yeah, no, I look forward to getting more. As my chat knows, we're eventually gonna transition to a cool model at one point. But that said, it is really fun and it's fun to learn because it's a new area for me to learn, and it's absolutely fascinating. Leprechaun Gold, thank you for 10. And then last one, I saved this because I've got it pulled up here. I saw Mouse review Celia's model. In fact, let's just go right now. Miss Popular over here. Here's the review you posted, which is super cool.
You got it.
Well, of course, I pulled this up. Let's play a minute. It's just a minute.
Thank you.
The animator. She does web comics. She's multi-talented. This model changed my brain chemistry. Calm down, chat. Julia, I'm sorry. I'm sorry the chat is being so down bad. I'm so sorry. But you're beautiful and you're goated. You're beautiful and you're goated and you're incredible and you're amazing. And I promise I only looked at your butt one time. I'm totally not looking at it right now. And I'm totally not looking at your eyes right now. I'm totally
Only one time,
doing
huh?
it. I'm looking like in another direction.
Sure. I totally believe you, Mousy. Honestly, this has been like crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'd be blessed.
So cool. That is so cool. Yeah. Well, clearly I was just sorry, let me play the no, hold on. Do I have a good clip for that? I got a Pippa clip for that.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Oh yeah.
Shot in that specific moment with Mousy. Yes.
Specific moment right there. Specific moment. That was her channeling her inner gremlin. Let's see. Silbury says it seems like popular VTubers have good models, it's because they have a community to support it or put the effort in themselves. Shy Lily, Lime, etc. Would you kind of concur with that?
I do fully agree. It's also about like VTuber models are also a nice way to show how much you care about it to your community in some way. Like recently, Shalini did a re-debut, and the newest model that she has, it's crazy good. They asked like an amazing artist and rigger for it. And it's because they kind of wanted to give to the community, like, a better model, a cooler model, a new iteration of herself. You kind of evolve into new models also to kind of show appreciation, like to show like to the community, this has happened thanks to your support. So the reason why big VTubers do have better and like cooler models than other people is because they generally want to show it to the community. And at the same time, also like this is like a very important thing. At the same time, they also support other artists and riggers while making these. So like it kind of helps everyone at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's kind of the circle there. And I look at it like, frankly, from my standpoint, because I'm a business guy, I represent businesses. I've been dealing with businesses my whole practice as a lawyer. I look at it as a business investment, right? Like if your community is funding you in your business, especially if you're an indie, right? And you are fully funding yourself, that's your business, right? You're reinvesting in your business, which is VTubing, right? So at a certain point when your community gives to you, you should give back to them. You should reinvest in your business, which is building up the model, building up maybe your overlays, your toggles, etc., like building up layers to your production, right? And making it better because they're giving to you, so you give back, right? And I think that's extremely important. And there's lots of ways you can do that too. You can do special streams as well and other stuff. But I think the model for VTubers is a really tangible asset. And it's something where you can say, okay, my support of this person is going towards something. It's not like they're spending it on like, I don't know, gotcha spins.
in Genshin.
Unless I know I was covering Genshin earlier today.
Oh yeah.
Unless that's what they stream about, in which case go for it. Do it all you want.
Because
right?
it's understandable. Yeah.
But I mean, they're not spending it on frivolous stuff. They're not spending it on like, I don't know, unlimited Pocky. I don't know, whatever they like. They're putting it into their model and they're giving back to everybody so everybody can have a good experience. So yeah, it's really cool. Quicker. Meme says meme. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for having Alicia and now Sulia, people I love and superb in their own fields. Being so generous to give space to talent is heartwarming. Yeah, I say this. I don't mean this in an empty way. I genuinely enjoy having people on that are specialists that know what they're talking about. Right. I love one-on-one conversations because I feel like we can get deeper than a panel conversation or a giant collab. And also, I like supporting folks that are maybe smaller on certain platforms. I know YouTube you use as kind of an archive, right?
Yeah.
But you've got a pretty good Twitch, right? And you've got people that can come over there and follow you on Twitch and support you on that platform as well from YouTube, which is perfectly fine. Kid Loco says, I can watch Hat Dad Ass forever.
Okay, I'm sorry that I'm built like a Pixar mom. I'm sorry. I really do this all the time. I do it also for all my YouTuber children. I am so sorry. I'm gonna do it.
It's not like you drew it. It's not like you drew it or anything. It's not like you created the model or anything. No,
actually not.
No,
you think I did it? Not really.
No. Southeriz says Sulia have a Discord server named called Hotel Sulia. VTuber Discord servers are also a valuable place for you to build a tight-knit community.
It is. I actually do believe that other than like streams, whenever it's on YouTube or Twitch, it is pivotal for them. Whenever you're offline, your community has to hang out somewhere, or you like wants maybe to have a contact with you other than streams. And Discord is the perfect place to do so because it allows you like to organize it however you want. You can like do some also on the long run. You can also do some kind of events in there. Like I know some VTubers do like movie night on Discord. It's pretty rad. It's pretty nice. It's a nice way to hang out and connect even more to your community. And maybe some members of your community are going to connect with each other. And like I see multiple times connections and friendships form between like members of communities. And it's very, very nice. It's very cool.
And I like that. I like seeing people and like there's people, especially with the indies, it's really cool to see people without the parameter of a corporation, just forming friendships, forming communities, forming mutual support, kind of helping each other. It's really, really awesome. And I really love to see that, like people just organically coming together and just having fun. That to me is really inspiring. And that's one of the things I love about the VTubing community. Like, we can talk a lot about the negative stuff and I can call out I came onto this scene calling out any color, right? That's how I came into this. But there's so much positivity, and that's really what keeps me covering this, because the community is at large, by and large, very positive, and I really love that. It's really different, and it's kind of a breath of fresh air compared to a lot of other communities. So I really appreciate that of the general VTubing community. I will say you mentioning Pixar moms literally triggered the chat real quick. And whenever you mention moms, I know that there's some people out there that just, they're waiting for Hollow Moms to go live,
Heck yeah.
So, you know, it's yeah, you triggered them. You triggered them, guys. In fact, look at this. You triggered 10 more memberships. Look at that.
Ooh.
What is going on? Thank you, Herzog Kalvan Usrashech. Appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for defeating Napoleon. Really, really, really much appreciated. King Conda says, I am guilty of feeding Henya's gotcha addiction with Dota. See what I mean?
Yeah, you
the
are.
Enablers.
100%.
The fucking
Yes.
enablers in the chat. The enablers in the chat.
1,000%. Anything that goes into a VTuber, you're feeding them anything that, you know, they put on screen there. Anything. From gachas to anything else. Food, I don't know. Even figure models.
Tengas, if it's Kson, I saw that today. I saw that. Don't think that's
I saw that one.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
I caught that. Herzog Kalvanusrachech says, Grüß Gott, Mr. Mindsets. I want to thank you. No, nix zu danken. Your streams are great, and every stream I learned something new. I found out that things I learned about VTubers are mostly not true. So thank you, Legal Mindset. Yeah, one thing I love is that for my channel, it's kind of this crossover of people who know nothing about this, and they're kind of like, what the f is going on here? I feel like a lot of those people that maybe went to the HoloLive Dodgers collab might end up wandering into one of my streams. Because they're trying to just figure out what this thing is, and I'm explaining to them in a way that is, you know, amenable and also is looking at it with objectivity in a good way, right? And open-mindedness. A lot of people approach VTubing in a very closed-minded way, particularly if they're coming from like the normie sphere, or if they don't really even watch anime, they approach it in a weird way. But I think that's really to a detriment because I think it's going to grow. I think it's going to get bigger. And, you know, Sulia, you've seen it grow, right? You've seen the industry grow over the last, you know, time you've been in it, right? You've been aware of VTubing for what, at least a couple years now?
Yeah, at this point, I think it's been 3-4 years or something.
4 years,
I've jumped on the train pretty much when COVID happened, of course. You know, staying inside a long time, not touching grass does this to you. So I don't say that I saw like the start of it, but I saw like the boom of VTubers. Like it got me at the time. And I've always seen people confused about what it is, not really understanding how it works. And honestly, I'm very happy to like help clear things out to people because they might have the wrongest thoughts about it, maybe because they genuinely don't get it. Or don't really know how it works. Sometimes people do think that a VTuber model, like it's made in an half a day, or you can do it like very quickly with some program. Like the same exact thing that happened when digital art started rolling around. People were like, "Oh, you just touch your screen and it's done," and that was not true. Sometimes all that it needs is having patience and trying to, you know, respond to questions, whoever those they are.
Yeah, that actually gives me a question. But before I hit that, Nikki P, thank you for the 10 Legal Mindset memberships.
Thank you, Nikki.
And that deserves a read.
Hello, Beso Department.
Thank you for helping out. We're going to have a member stream for all members, all classes of members, probably next week. So stay tuned for that. And if you receive a gift membership, say thank you to the folks that have donated those today. Carl von Österreich, Nikki, appreciate all those. Please say thank you to those guys if you've got a gift membership. And Jim Blades, Nostra V, says, what a great guest you have. Sulia sounds knowledgeable and so nice to listen to. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
The thick art is unrelated.
I'm gonna believe that. I'm gonna believe that. Thank you, though.
Well, I love how Jin. I love how you started nice and sweet. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. and then at the very end, I'm like,
Disgusting.
I'm joking. Who doesn't like the thickness? Beer Bear Beard said, if everyone has a good model, how do you distinguish groomable to view from established chubas? To
what?
What?
We require a re-elaboration of the question, please.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're asking, bro. But that said, let's get into one question I have, which is, and this is something pretty clear. It's kind of a layup, but I mean, you were an artist beforehand. clearly creating VTubing models is art, correct? You'd constitute that as art.
Yeah, it takes more than like a lot of knowledge. It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience.
Yeah, and so that's part of the process, right? I mean, whether you're doing like web comics or illustrations. And by the way, when you were doing web comics, like how long did you do that before you got into VTubing?
I actually started doing it while I started VTubing. I'm still doing them. Yeah, what people call a workaholic. I don't stop, and I've been working. Like I do work on a webcomic in a very slow way, like a couple of pages a week. Like nothing too bad, but I just do it as a side thing. It's like for funsies. It's nothing serious for now, but I hope maybe in the future it will be. But I really like just to put my hands on everything, like I like to do illustrations. I like to do VTuber models, webcomics, animations, way too many things. I need to take a break, I think.
Yeah. Someone asked here, Kid Loco's like, question, can I be a VTuber who wrote and not talk?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like anything while streaming, like you can do whatever you want while streaming. Like you can not have any kind of webcam or avatar and talk. You can have a webcam but not talk. Write in chat, not even write in chat. Like there's even like streamers or VTubers that are just there on screen and that's it. They do their own thing. They play games. And they're like, you just hang out in chat, like no need to like talk to me or stuff like that. Just enjoy the place. Everybody can do their own type of content. Like there is no restriction on how you have to do it, how you don't have to do it. And same goes with like VTubers in general. Like I know a lot of VTubers that are have a model, they play games, but they don't interact with chat. They're like, if you want to, you can interact with me in the game, but not in chat. And it's up to you. It's up to you. And I can say there is an audience for everyone out there. If you're scared of like, if I don't talk to the chat, they're not going to come in, you're wrong. People do genuinely believe into like, I prefer to write. And maybe they are hard of hearing or, they cannot like open the stream and just want to chat. So everything works.
And I think that the principles of streaming are true regardless whether you're a flesh tuber or a VTuber, which is if you're entertaining, if you're there, the content is entertaining, whether or not you're talking, just the content is entertaining, right? And you are consistent. That's a big one, right? That is a key to success, right? In anything you're doing. And you're obviously assessing what you're doing. You're getting better. You're improving, right? It's better to do it than to not do it, right? I guess the saying is it's better done than perfect, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I know there's perfectionists out there. Alicia, I'm not calling you out, but I see you,
we're looking at you.
I see you, girl. Like perfectionists, like I get it. And I love that. And I love my perfectionist, but sometimes you just got to do the thing and it's better to do the thing even without 100% information or rather than not do it. I mean, I think about my streams. I do a lot of research for my streams, but do I do the exhaustive research to make myself the best subject matter expert out there on everything? No, of course not, right? That's impossible. But I do the best job I can. I do it consistently. And that's more important than making the stream absolutely fucking perfect with perfect overlay, perfect everything else, right? It's something to consider there. Done is much better than perfect, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for the $20 super sticker. And then this is a good wild Kate said Zen uses text to speech.
Zen is a VTuber that if you do not know, the name is Andrea. And she usually really text to speech to speak like on stream. Like if you ever jump on there, it's very interesting because they speak probably to a speaker, but then the recruiter like makes a text to speech out of it and just talks like that. Like you hear the text to speech on stream speaking at the same time as actually Zen. So we have never heard Zen's voice. We don't wish for that because that's not her style of content. That's what she likes to do. And we totally respect it. And it's super cool and interesting. And really, you can make out of like something that you might not like, something that's actually extraordinary about yourself. Like I mute VTubers that like are known because they just don't want to talk. They're just there saying hi to you with the model and stuff like that. And just talking in chat. It's pretty nice. It's pretty comfy.
And I'll say this too, because I know a lot of VTubers are actually introverts. They're not extroverts, but in a weird way, especially of course, if you've got a model, it's a little bit different because you even have anonymity behind that, right? So you don't have to stress about your personal appearance or anything else like that. But you know, with VTubing and with streaming in general, it feels different than speaking to a room. Like this feels like a private conversation. So I think it's more introvert friendly than you would think, right? Because you would think, oh, I've got, 500 people, right? Imagine being in a room of 500 people. That's pretty daunting, right?
Yeah,
But
scary. That's scary.
it is scary. Like if I thought right now that I was in a room with earlier today I had 2,000, and the other day I had 4,000 people. And I think about that. Like if I was in a room with 4,000 people paying attention to my every word, even I'm an extrovert and I love public speaking. I'm a presenter, but I'm a little bit nervous. And that's like my jam. And I'm still nervous because that's a lot of people, right? But here because you're detached from it. It's much more comfortable to be able to talk and have a private conversation. And then the chat, you guys, the community, you're part of that conversation. You get to join in that conversation through the chat itself, right? Or however else you want to communicate, whether if you're communicating through the game, whatever else you're doing.
Yeah, you kind of have you have control over how to build what it's around you. It's it's a lot of comfort, I can say, because I have also had my fair like amount of like public speaking. Actually, the most recent one at a convention in London.
Nice.
Because I also do artist alleys and sell my merch. So I was like, I've been asked like, can you do like a panel talking about art? And I was like, yeah, sure. I trembled like crazy. I was like, oh, no, I'm not good with this. I might be good with like huge numbers of people on stream, but like in person, that's scary. I don't know if I will ever get used to this, but I will totally get used to like, streaming with with different like kind of things.
Yeah, and there's some stuff you can do streaming, especially when you're in the VTuber world, that it's you're like, this is interesting, and you cannot do this in person, but it can get away with it in VTubing and streaming. Let me ask you a quick question though, with because you do conventions, and I'm really interested in that side, especially the business side in Europe, because I know countries are different. Is it typical to charge you for the artist alley, to charge you for your booth, or to charge? And what is that typically like the average charge for artist alley booths?
It is. I think everywhere here in Europe, you pay for the artist alley booth. And I can say that more for the table itself, you kind of pay for like the tickets to have like the tickets for the entire convention. You have your own table. Of course, depending on the country, it depends like how it works. I've only ever been to French and British conventions. So I can only say that about those cases. I hope next year to go to like the German one, to Dokomi, that is very well known. But I know the prices between these conventions can vary because some conventions are bigger than others. But usually tables in Europe are like $200 of the artist alley. Like they're not that expensive as people might think.
That's not bad. I mean, the American conventions, I mean, from my understanding, at least, and this may be a little dated now because the last convention I went to was pre-COVID. So, you can get at a smaller con tables for prices like that, 100, 50 even I've seen. But I've also seen, artist alleys go for 500 or more if it's a big con.
Yeah.
Right? It just depends on the range, right? But you have to pay in the US. But apparently what I'm finding out here on the Asian side is a lot of them, they either have a de minimis charge, so it's like very small, or they'll even allow you to do that for free. Like they're trying to promote the artists, so
nice.
very, very low. Very interesting. And by the way, for the artist alleys, I was looking at your page. So would you have kind of your merch, like this sort of merch at your
yeah, pretty much. Wait, I think I have like the photo on my socials of like the recent booth that I had London. I think if you scroll down like in the content on Twitter, you might find it. I mean one
London?
photo and that's it.
Yeah, well, that's
there's only one.
I guess I'm looking for what I can show here. Like I'm like, okay, that one, not that.
Yeah, no, don't share it on stream, please.
I guess like it's like I guess I can show this, but like not for more than a couple seconds because chat will it'll be goonin season.
It will be distraction while you find it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But I know it's
yeah,
here
guys,
somewhere.
do not open my Twitter in public. Thank you. It's for your own safety, okay?
Yes. For the purity of the chat. But that said, I enjoy conventions. I enjoy getting out and meeting people. I enjoy seeing people that like enjoy my content or also people whose content I enjoy. So, I think that's a really great experience. And like, if you haven't had a chance to do that at some point, I do think it is worthwhile, especially to go out and support, artists you like, particularly because with artists, they're typically there. They're typically there in person. So you're getting to meet them kind of like face to face, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I'm seeing your art book giveaway. I saw some other.
I think I think I can like send you the. You might have scrolled a little bit too much. If you click on like the content table.
I got too excited.
I might send you the link somewhere at this point.
Okay, private.
Yeah, here we go. There it is.
Okay.
Found it.
Or you can share it either way.
We could have done it a little bit faster.
Yes.
My bad.
Trying to be safe here, guys. Always practice safe streaming. Okay. Here is your booth. Wow, this is really cool. So this is in MCM London.
Yes. It was my first time ever there. So I was completely new. I was like very scared, but what is actually pretty fun is that I met a lot of VTubers there too. Like, it's kind of fun. The moment that you say, hey, I'm a VTuber and I'm there, like you better believe some of them will like start to approach you very fast.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like,
I'm a VTuber. Yeah.
It's very fun.
That's interesting. So yeah, you got the base for this. Really cool. And, getting to meet everybody. That's really awesome. And this is a yearly event in London.
Yeah, in London, I know they do it twice a year. I actually applied for the October one, and I'm still waiting for the response. But yeah, they do it 2 times a year, and it is not bad. It's a very nice convention. It's kind of big. Yeah, totally, 100%. Okay. So far, it has been my best ever convention. Like in general, between like people, friends, and how the convention went, and it's a very chill one. I didn't expect it.
Wildcate said Zen content is kind of like watching a silent film.
True, it is.
Crimson Splat says, don't worry about it. I'm only paying attention to half your words. Hey. Hey now, Crimson Splat. Razgriz Reborn said, I cannot tell you how many new VTubers I've discovered through YouTube recommendations, many low subs. Also, React content exposure without investing in lost streams. Yes, and that's one of the things when I was talking about the clippers and why clippers are important, and smaller channels can also be important for that because a lot of times smaller channels, they'll do reaction stuff. So you'll find out about stuff from a larger VTuber based on a reaction from a smaller VTuber, which is really cool. And I like the ecosystem. I think it's great that there can be VTubers commenting on VTubers. I think that's a good thing. And I think there's room for that. So I really think this is why I'm like bullish on VTubing because the ecosystem is so filled out and it's only going to build more and more and more. Really quick, we've got 2 chads here. First, Herzog Kalvan Österreich with another 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Absolutely great. Listen, no matter what they say about you, no matter what they say about you, you are not a
monkey.
not at all. One dickhead, 10 legal mindset members. Thank you, one dickhead. Appreciate you. Thank you for strapping up and coming over here to give 10 legal mindset memberships. Appreciate you, man. Drunken Finn says drinking beer and watching funny lawman talk with a VTuber. Normal Wednesday.
That's a very high quality Wednesday right there.
This is premium content, sir.
For real.
Where else do you get this? Where else do you get a lawyer talking to VTuber? Literally none. They're usually too busy. Lawyers are usually pretty busy drunk, working in their office all day or strung out in some substance. Hakud says, random question. How does using a 3D avatar impact how you feel about that kind of content? I'll throw it to you, Sulia. How do you feel about that?
I feel like 3D models are pretty badass. They're like the side of the same metal with not the metal, like the same coin. Is that how you
Yes.
say it?
Yes.
Of like VTubers in general. You can have 2D models, 3D models. They both can be pretty complicated, pretty simple, easy to have, difficult to get, pricey or cheap, and both of them are very valid. Of course, they do different things, and they allow you to do different kind of content sometimes. But both are very, very amazing things. I really wish to have a 3D model in the future myself. But for that case, I'll totally commission another artist for it because I'm not able to do it. It's like it's like another skill and another set of things that you can do.
And that's a good way. Like, once again, think about professional development. Like, if you've done 2D, right, and you want to expand and you want to grow, then you can say, hey, look, I'm going to try around with 3D, right? That's another area you can like learn and grow into. Of course, you can always specialize and just focus on one thing, right? You know, like thick thighs. I mean, that can just be the thing, and it can work. You know, but yeah. And I think we got all of the comments there. Let me make sure we're all good. Yes, we're all good. So, Sulia, perhaps before I get into other questions, it might be good to go through the models now. So I wanted to like go through like the average model, kind of a little bit about the process before I get into business questions and stuff like that. We got to see the
All right.
We got to see the models.
I mean, let me think how I can phrase all of this. Phrase is a big word. It's going to be like
Phrasing
a long paragraph. And a long chat about this, I think.
Yes.
To make VTuber models, of course, I'm going to be talking about the art part because Alicia already talked about the rig. But the rig is the final part of a model. Like, it's what happens before it's ready to be used by the person that commissioned it or made it. Whatever comes before, it's a long process of tears and sweat, which is called making the art of the model. Well, for example, for rigging, you need to learn a whole new thing. With the art part, if you already know, you wear around like drawing programs or stuff like that. It's easy on the, making part, but actually thinking how to make it is the problem. Because VTuber models, of course, oh yeah, tell me.
So real quick. You mentioned drawing programs. Can you maybe like just give a couple of the programs, for example? Because like I know, look, I do the same thing as a lawyer. We just say things offhand. We're like, oh yeah, according to Supreme Court precedent that everybody knows, right?
Oh yeah.
Fellow lawyer chat. You're like, and it's cool. I love when people are specialists because they do things like that where they just like, oh yeah, drawing software, yeah. Like, can you maybe elaborate for those that might be thinking of getting into it or might be interested in getting it? What software you're talking about? What software you're using primarily for drawing?
All right. For specifically making VTuber models, what you only need is any kind of drawing program that allows you to do a .psd file, which is usually the basic ones that Photoshop does. So, like, whenever you make a Photoshop, file, that's what it's going to be saved as .psd. But a lot of other programs can do that. Like, I personally use Clip Studio Paint, which is vastly known by the artist community because it's a very wonderful program. It works like a charm, and it allows you to do this kind of files too. But these are not the only drawing programs. There's a lot of these. This one that I just talked about, Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint, are, you need to pay for them. Photoshop, we very well known how expensive it is.
And right now, Photoshop's very controversial because of Adobe's policies and all the crap that they're pulling.
Stay away from there, also for your own pocket, because it's very expensive. Clip Studio Paint, it has different types of payment options, but you can pay it for one time only. It's up for one-time purchase, and once every 4 months, it's actually like 40% discount, and you only pay like $20 or something to have it for life. So you don't have to pay anything anymore. But if you don't want to pay and you're just starting out with drawing, with making models and stuff like that, don't be scared. There is free options. One of the which is Krita, written with the K. Krita. I don't know if I spelled it right. But it's free to get for every kind of platform. Okay. Remember, all you need to do, if you have any other program with you already, just check if you can save .pst files. For models, it's everything that you need because
Krita?
yeah, it's that one. Krita is like for any platform, if I'm not wrong. It's for Windows, like iOS also.
Yeah,
it's
Linux.
like for
you got fucking whatever you need, right?
like anything. Like it works on Linux even. It's crazy.
Yeah, come on. You got your Linux over there.
Get it, guys. It's great. It's very similar to the other programs. Like it just has couple of less tools, but it works like a charm.
Cool.
But.
Oh no! I was gonna say, are you just a question? Are you a Mac user or a Windows user?
I'm a Windows user.
Because I know a lot of artists back in the day when I was doing, because I was friends with a lot of folks who were doing like digital design, etc., and they would all be Mac users, which was annoying. But
yeah, I feel
I think now it's transition. Now it's because it's just I can never do anything with them. I'm like, hey, send me this file, and I'm like, why is this not compatible? Like what the fuck are you sending me right now?
No, it's always has been used by people that did graphic design more than anything.
Yes,
like it's more for slick kind of things. I don't understand any of it too. And I have a diploma in computer science, so like I don't get any of it.
Real quick here, Erhat's on Calvin Star says, I'm not a Chad, I'm Napoleon's nightmare and the loyal general of the based emperor of mindset and ruler of Terra. Long live the Kaiser. Andrew Esquire, thank you. I will gladly be the Kaiser. That is fine. We're not going down, baby. We're not going down. Don Comic says, we're witnessing history. Let me LMCU, the VTuber saga. Yeah, baby. I've had a lot of story arcs in my anime and the Legal Mindset anime, and my VTuber arc is definitely the most epic of all of them. This is kind of the culmination of it's the culmination of my training.
And I'm happy to be part of it.
And I'm happy to have you here. So, did you want to pull up share screen on some of the models?
Sure. Like I can show you. I think I'm not going to show you myself. Like, do you prefer if I show like my model, how I made it, or somebody else's?
Why don't
so maybe I'm going to show first mine, and then
show yours first. Show yours first.
You?
Let's start with you. Let's make it personal, and then we'll expand.
Perfect. I like it. Okay. But of course, after you have understood what like kind of file you need to have. You also need to have a design for a model. Although I'm not a very nice designer, I made my own design of my own model. So let me show the screen of like what I did. Can I just like share the screen? There we go. You want to see everything in here. Everything in here.
Everything. Okay, here we go. We're exposing it.
Just don't look at the Italian.
Yes.
Don't look at that. But usually what you have before like making a model is making a design. Especially if you're making your own, you have to make it or commission another artist. Again, remember, the biggest option that could help you to do less work and help somebody else at the same time is commissioning, And but if you want to do it yourself, there is nothing wrong with it. But the important thing is that you do make a very clean and clear sheet of how you want your model to look like. Mine is extremely thick, so I made it accordingly.
Would you call this a character sheet? Like, because typically when I'm looking at art, I think of like character sheet. Is that an accurate like kind of?
Sorta. I think the thing that is lacking this specific character sheet is like maybe some details, some showcases of some specific things. But usually just doing a turnaround helps around, especially if you're commissioning somebody else to understand, make people understand what they need to do.
There's still a lot of specific details in this.
Yeah, but like I don't know if you've ever seen other like model sheets. They do tend to have very specific like they're decomposing parts of the body and showing like this is how it looks like on its own, like maybe like a bracelet or like a keychain or stuff like that. Like that's very specific because these kind of things help out whoever's going to make the model art to make it as accurate as possible. And what happens after this is that the artists are like the person that's going to make the model itself has to sketch it. And what you usually tend to do, I'm going to actually just pop in like my model. There it is. You might think, oh, she's like on screen. Well, look at this. Look at the side, how many layers we have here. This is all the composition of the model. And this is not even a lot of them. I have no idea.
You're still scrolling.
I swear, I have no idea how many layers there are. But this is actually a small model still. Like there's some models that are a lot more complicated.
I asked the important question to Alicia, was like, how many layers are the boobs? But like, I feel like for you, I have to be like, how many layers are the butt? Like
on the butt? Oh, not I think they're like actually not a lot. Let me just four maybe. Not really, just like a 4 or 5, something like that. I think I have made like a specific layer for the like the softness in here. You know, the shine is very important. You know, it's very important in these kind of things. And so you know, you have a lot of layers, and I have not thought about like showing a process of it because I forgot to turn the time lapse on. I think that is very important to do, especially if you want to know how you worked on something. But what you usually do is start from a sketch. Like this was the original sketch of my model at first. It was very different.
Did you do this digitally, or are you ever doing this like drawing? Okay, all digital, right? No,
all digital. Like, and then I started to build like, I think I have some whips of this. Not the look. Don't look. There might be something that was not supposed to show there. It was old stuff, so it sure may not be anything not safe for work. But then you start to build things one by. I'm sorry, guys. I am so sorry. And then you start to build things.
Vouchers, and then we get vouchers folder in there. You know, I'm joking.
You start to build things one by one in VTuber models, and this is like the part which people do sometimes lose their mind. Because this is a whip of while I was working on the model. I never released this, so you guys are the first ones to see.
Wait, hold on. But how did you do that? Like the drawing in the background, is that like with a pencil tool or?
The layer 101. Like these are all layers. Then later, you know, I rendered on top of them like color and stuff. And I made them. 101.
Wow.
And this is the part that I meant with it takes a long time.
Like imagine those eyes, like the detail you put in the eyes. It's crazy.
I'm not hearing you anymore.
Oh wait, sorry to that.
I'm sorry. Am I not hearing you? I hope I'm not talking to you.
No. Hold on.
Oh,
I didn't mute myself. Did I?
Okay, no, one of my headphones just like died, I think.
No, I'm good. It's probably your headphone.
Yeah, it's my headphones. Yes. I hope it's not going to happen again. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
You know how you said there's not going to be scuff? Too late.
Scuff it up. Scuff it out. And you know who loves the scuff? Mazrova Palma loves 20 Legal Mindset memberships worth of scuff. Thank you so much for supporting this. And thank you so much for supporting Sulia and coming out to give her some love here, guys. 535 you in the chat, which is awesome. This is not my typical streaming time. So it's really amazing to see so many people here when it's not my normal time, you know, because usually people are used to your normal time. So thank you guys for joining. I know it's a weirder time, but I do appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you so much. And thank you for support Mazrova Palma. Give some thanks for those memberships and dobre rano to you, Mazrova Palma. Thank you so much. Now with the details, for example, I actually want to bring that up because I look at those eyes and those eyes look so detailed. That's probably for any VTuber one of the models like where you put a lot of emphasis, because I guess eyes convey a lot of emotion and they tell a lot about a character. So I imagine that's one element that always gets a lot of detail, right?
Yeah, usually the eyes, I believe it's like one of the parts of a VTuber model that gets extreme love by whoever makes the model, because those are the eyes are the first thing that people show. And usually it's the fastest and funniest thing to rig, because they're going to be the center of everything, of the model itself. I can say that my eyes do not have that many layers as people might think, but they do have like a good chunk of them. Like, for example, I do have the shadow of the eyes already, and then like the lights. I have one, I have two, etc. And they're like a very nice part of the VTuber model. And they are always like, any artist that I encountered, they do them in wonderful ways. Every single one is different, but every single one of them is super good. Is super duper good. For example, mine, I do not know how many layers I have here. Oh wait, I can see them here. Oh shit, there are a lot. Okay, this is the amount of layers of the eyes.
Woof.
This is all of them.
That's a good
And
amount.
it's both eyes. So remember that what Alicia said, that you have like
Sure,
the
sure.
right side and left side of things. So
Right,
like
right.
there's a lot of them. I'm glad that I named them. Usually there is this little like funny thing about VTuber artists that we do forget to write the names of the layers. So you're bound to lose them. And that's gonna be fun when you have this amount of layers. Like you saw how many layers I had. Here it becomes like you start to cry at a certain point. You start like to kind of cry. You do not know what anything is.
Because you're just like, I'm adding another layer. I'm adding it. Like, where'd that thing go? How do I find it? You know, like, yeah, no, so can you go back to that work in progress one, the one that's like kind of step one?
You mean this one?
Yeah. So is there something you start with? Because like in this one, for example, what popped out to me was, oh, well, it's not done yet, but you've got the eyes, you've obviously got the face, you get the lips, you got the like the basic of the hair, but not all the hair, right? So is there an element you typically start with when you're working on the art?
I do all the time start with the face. And I've noticed that the majority, if not all the artists of VTuber models do the same. It kind of like helps out understand like how to make everything works. And it's the part that you edit the most. Because sometimes like the position of the eyes might not look great. I think here I also like deleted some lashes on between this and the final model.
You can play with the width of the eye, like how long they are, the final shape. Yeah, because the shape looks different there. Look, if you toggle that.
It is, and it is slightly different. It's not even. I didn't know you could notice it. That's actually very nice. You got a nice observation.
I paid big money for this laser surgery, so you know. No, but it's that it's different, but I mean it's really detailed, right? So obviously there's a lot of things about the eye you can change, whether it's the under eye bag right there, or the over the brow, the you know, the lashes, whatever else you're changing, or the pupil itself, the color, the shadowing. Like there's so many different elements around and about the eye that I can imagine will change. Was that like a little tiny scuff there, or was that intentional?
Yeah. I don't know what happened. You know, just wanted to, you know, disappear my clip studio paint. It's fine. All is good.
Scuffed live. So yes, guys. So despite the accusations, you do not start with the thighs. That is not the part.
I'm so sorry, guys, to break it to you. Apologies. I mean, if you want to, you can try, but I don't think it's gonna be nice because you're gonna keep looking at them and you're not gonna get any work done. I'm sorry.
Some of the chat right now.
Emotional damage.
I mean, here I was dying. Like usually you start to do the face and you do the entirety of the head, but as you notice here, I was eager to do the thighs, so I just started right away. I understand like the struggle,
but they weren't the first, and the boobs weren't either, right? I mean, because
they're
an important asset too, but they weren't either. They weren't the first thing. They weren't the very first thing. Some people say save the best for last.
It's like a dessert.
This is a good question. Oyamada for 13 says, after Twitch made a policy change to be lenient on the dress code for VR chat only, not sure if they backtracked, how much did it affect model creators that work on models for their VTuber softwares? Do you know?
Okay, I do know some of it. I do not know everything about it, so I'm sorry if I say anything wrong regarding like policies on Twitch and stuff like that. But we had some kind of weird times that still stay to this day, that we do have some kind of limitations on VTuber models that might sound hilarious because they don't make sense sometimes. Twitch, it doesn't really like, and hear me out, this is very specific, under boobs. It is okay if you show as much cleavage as you want, like you can do that any day of the week, but not show under boobs. Like, they have like very specific rules that VTuber modelers, when this rule rolled around, everybody panicked. Because there was a lot of people that were doing that, they were having their models with like under boobs showing because maybe they had like a huge, how can I say, hoodie like on top, and they were like, oh, I can just show like the underboob, like that looks cute in some like designs. And they were like, I don't need to do it anymore. Like some people really scrambled to change designs very quickly because of these reasons. And it wasn't the only instance. Also with other stuff, like of course there is some sort of limits with showing skin, I think. Never understood like what is like the limit.
That's the one.
That's
the one that. Yeah, that's the one that people have the most problem with on Twitch, and that's what I've started. It's like it's what amount of skin and what showing what where is enough, and it seems it's kind of like a little bit of a random thing where like one person will be okay and another person it won't, right? But I've dealt with stuff like that on YouTube. For example, I know a lot of folks that would use a lot of girls for their thumbnails, and for example, at one point on YouTube, you would be like not banned or anything, but you would be deranked or your thumbnail wouldn't show as much if there was straight up cleavage, but if it was side boob, it was okay.
Yeah, like there is some kind of ruling, and I can say that this is also kind of it depends from VTuber to VTuber, this kind of things. For example, like as you've seen, like my model is, she has a lot of skin showing in some sort of way.
Yes.
But Twitch doesn't have any problems with me regarding what I do on Twitch. Because when I do stream, I am just drawing, but I also yap a lot. Like it's more of a ASMR and like just chatting stream, my place. It's not really just that much of like, hey, look at my thighs. It's just like I am talking about food.
Sorry? You hold on, Sulia. Are you breaking it? You do not do like thigh crushing ASMR?
I'm sorry, I don't. People tell me that I should, but
unsub right now. Revoke all
sorry,
Patreons.
guys.
Cancel your memberships. It's over, guys. It's over.
I'm sorry.
I know. It's over. You're broken. The GFE is broken, guys. But real quick. Oh, thank you, Leprechaun Gold. Thank you so much for the $50 super sticker and the Shiba. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Much love. Thank you, all my great supporters. You guys are fucking awesome, and thank you for enjoying this, hanging out with me and Sulia late at night here. So, when you get started, like on a model, like let's say your model, about how long would that take from start to finish in kind of drafting to completion? Now, I know maybe your model, you're a little bit more perfectionist, but I'm saying an average model of around the quality of yours.
All right. In this case, I might be able also to show like the other model that I had here, so I can like bring you with me on how long it takes each part. This is one of the most recent models that I made, and it's for a lovely bean called Luna. There is like the process of like thank you. Of course, like there is like the very important part. Usually, okay, I do like a little sketch regarding like what it sent me as an inspiration and stuff like that. And so I work around with it. We see what works, what doesn't work, and then I step on to do the final sketch of it. This part takes me usually a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours between like gathering informations, what to put. Of course, here is like very fastly done.
You do this sketch in 2 to 3 hours?
Yep. Yes.
I would take. I mean, yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay.
But of course, like I do this pretty much to show like the colors, how they will look like, how everything will put together. Of course, here I use some brushes to like make details to make it faster for me. And I talk to the client to see like if they like it. So this usually like realistically, I would just like tell them like a couple of days later, but the actual work that I put on this, it's like 2-3 hours in total without distractions, hopefully.
Of course, this is not a model. This is just a concept, right? So this is just this is like, so you're saying 2 to 3 hours to prepare the I don't want to get people out there like, well, Sulia said I can get a model in 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, no. Of course, like there is a little bit of weight of like, I need to eat, guys. I'm sorry. I need to sleep. This is a very, very funny thing that, I don't know if many of you know, touching grass is always very much requested in the meantime. But yeah, when I finish the stuff, I send it over and I ask, is it okay? Can we start? Can I start to make the model? And between this and wait, I should never open this thing. Oh my gosh.
You can unshare the screen to go over and check that and reshare.
Yeah, no, I opened just it on another place, so it's better. I keep forgetting because I do have shortcuts on the keyboard. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I'm like, no, I should not today. Let me see. From sketch to finish. Do I have like the sketch? I think I do.
People in the chat are like, grass is overrated.
Like, mind you, the first sketch is like very freaking ugly sometimes. Like, this is just like to see the proportions and stuff. Everything is like very symmetrical. And then after, usually it does take me
everything in perfect balance.
Work. Yeah, exactly. That's what's needed. And after, I think, a total of like a full week of work, if I tend to work on this on a full week, which easily becomes a month of work sometimes, I am able to make this. This is the final model.
Wow. So this is 1 month.
I'm sorry,
1 month later. So 1
month later.
So 1 month later. So so you're talking about that as a 1 month process. Would you say that's probably about the average time going from concept, right? That the 2 to 3 hour sketch that you did to model 1 month is fair? Somebody
1 month, I think it's a good starting ATA. Like, that's the least. Usually I think that if it takes you less than a month, that's great. I love that for you, but it's a little bit too much. It's too fast.
I love how you said that. I love how you said that. That was so perfect. It was perfect. It was like, that's good for you, but it probably sucks. It's it's probably lacking some detail that could be there, right? It's lacking a second pass or something else, right? If you get it done in a week or 2 weeks, of course it can be done, but is it with the level of detail that it should have?
Exactly. Yeah. Of course, it depends on the type of model. Like, this kind of models that I do, they personally take me more than a month towards like 2 months. Especially because I have a busy schedule in the middle and I cannot work on this 24/7. But if, for example, it's a little slime, of course, that's going to take like a week. That's totally fine. It depends on the type of quality. But talking about the kind of quality that I do, it's a month or two. It's a lot of commitment, I can say, because also the problem is that if I do eventually think about taking a couple of more months, I might look at the model again and be like, actually, I want to redo it from zero. And that's a problem. I should never do that.
Zero?
Right? Because I'm in the moment in which my skills are kind of, changing with time. Like, for example, this model that you're seeing on screen, I made it in November. Well, my model that you're seeing right now, I made it in March, April. And I feel like the quality of my model right now, it's a little bit higher than this one. Because I keep like learning, like the more that you do something, the more that you learn. And with this model, I am very happy about everything. It looks amazing. But I'm like, maybe on like one side I could have done this, on a side I could have done that. And if I end up like working on it more and more months, you end up like crying a little bit.
Are you able to kind of self-regulate that, or would you say it might be helpful for somebody, if they're working with an artist, to say, hey, look, let's set the timeline at 1 month or 1.5 months or whatever else, and say let's call it at that. Do you think that's helpful, or for somebody to kind of give that timeline, or at least to discuss that as like a mutual expectation, like, hey, this is going to be around a month? I
think it's kind of needed to have a deadline set between like both the artist and the commissioner and the client, because at least you have the set of expectations of like, I need to fill my agenda, like my diary, my agenda with this amount of work, and the client doesn't have to wait too much. Like, I am now asking always to my clients, give me a deadline. You have to give it to me, because if I don't, I'm gonna like lose time and like not think about things, yada yada. And it kind of defeats the purpose of working on something. Like, if you do, of course, it depends on the type of things. I'm talking specifically about VTuber models. If somebody needs the model like 6 months from now, I'm gonna start to work on it like 3 months from now. I'm not gonna start to work on it right away, or at least I am gonna maybe work it. We're working it in this next 2 months, and I'm gonna deliver it, and that's it. Like, it completely depends on the turnaround of a specific person, but you have to self-regulate at a certain point.
And one other thing I had a question about, and this is something that's come up recently. You, just to be very clear, when you ever sell your models or commission your models, you always, or at least your standard now, is to just, those are their models. You don't expect to retain any rights or reserve any rights, right? You're just saying, hey, look, it's your model. You want to make merch. You want to do whatever. You want to join an agency. That's on them, right? That's how you conduct your business.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Whenever I make the models, like if you want to make merch out of yourself, out of the model, out of the design, you paid me for the work. And the work that I do usually for VTuber models already contains a commercial fee. So like you can do whatever. You can, like, I always stated, I stated on my TOS that you already have it. Like the price of the model already contains that. So you're okay. You don't have to pay me more. That's about it. So they can do whatever as long as they credit me. That's the only thing that I always ask. Like if you use one of my models, if you get them, credit me. That's all I'm going to ask.
Okay. And just put your credit somewhere, right? Somewhere. Right. Okay. Now, can you give, I know this is going to depend on, and we'll get into details versus not details, because obviously, right, some people want a really detailed model, right? And obviously a really detailed model, you would price at a higher rate than what you might consider an average detail model. But can you give a range maybe of cost, at least, for example, of your, maybe like your typical parameters, right? It doesn't need to be specific, but maybe a range.
Okay, usually for now, the models that I do are art plus rig. Like I make a complete model. The model that I have and that I showed you, I also make the animation of it. Okay. So my prices are based on both of the things together. I still have not done any like only art model. So I cannot have a base on that. But for me, my personal prices, I can say that they're kind of average right now in the industry. Like they're not low, but they're not even extremely high. What I do have as a price myself is like 3,500, I think. Yes. Okay, USD, I think that's the correct number. Yeah, USD. And I know that some people do price it lower. Usually when people start out to make commissions, it's great to start like maybe at 1,000 or 2,000, depending how they feel like it. It's very important to start to like understand the field. When I started out, there was a need for VTuber models. So my prices were extremely low because I was starting out, but I got a lot of requests. Like in a year, I think I made 12 models, like one per month. I was insane. I don't know how I did it. Now I can barely do like 2 a year without crying.
Right, which is why you have to adjust your price, right? Because guys gonna realize like if you're doing one a month, right, and that's at 1,000, right? That's great. You know, like 12,000. That sounds great, but then you're like, wait a second. If I can only do one every 2 months or one every 3 months, like now I've got to adjust for that, right? So like, a lot of people feel really guilty. I know a lot of people, especially that start their own business, they feel really guilty, especially when they're charging lots of money, because that is a lot of money, right? But it's a lot of work, right? And it's a lot of your time. So you know, it's an investment of your time into that, and it's a reflection of compensating you for that investment of your time. Right. So yeah, that's definitely, you know, one thing you got to understand. Quality definitely comes with a price.
With a price, yes.
So, but have you had people like, can you give an example or maybe not an example, but like, can you talk about some like really elaborate requests you've had or like really off the wall requests you've had that are like really extreme?
I don't think I have gotten that many extreme requests in my whole like career so far, but I think the one that like the most detailed. Okay, I think I don't have them anymore. I don't have the files now on this computer at this point. But like one of the first ever models that I made that never got released. Like I have so far made like 20 models, and like 5 of these are using the models. So like 15 of them is like they're like in the canteen waiting for something to happen. And one of these was actually a model that was like genie inspired. She didn't add legs. She had like a lot of like mist, smoke. Yes, smoke, that thing. Like, and it sounds easy, but it's really not, because you need to like know how to draw it and then animate it. And she also had like some kind of like flames going around. Like all of this that I'm saying, it's like regarding animations. And animations, it's like, it's a little bit more complicated because I am in luck. I am both the artist and the rigger. So I can figure it out if I can't. But the moment that you have an artist and a rigger, that they're two separate people, you need to communicate with them and they need to communicate with each other, because maybe I am able to draw something that works with this kind of rigging, but the rigger might be able to like do something if the artist does it in a very specific way. There's a lot of communication back and forth sometimes that people do not take into account when asking for a VTuber model, that it's extremely tiring. But the most, for me, I think like flames, like kind of animations were the most difficult things to do at the start because I could never figure out how to do them. And when involved like flames, mist, some weird hand movement. I don't know. I don't remember that well, but it was terrifying while I was making it. For sure, it took me a lot of time.
Would you say it's probably easier to be the person who does that? Do you think it's easier, like assuming you know rigging and you can do it, like, do you think it's easier to be a person who does both the model and the rigging because you're kind of already familiar with the model? Like, do you think that makes it easier? Or do you think that it really doesn't matter if someone's kind of skilled on the rigging side? Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like I personally think that I enjoy making my model, but I'm tired. I'm tired of making everything on my own. For sure that in the future, I would love to commission somebody else to do everything. Like, I'm like, just do it. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to hold both hands of the artist and the rigger, but I'm tired of making it. Okay. But for sure it's nice, especially because it's faster. It's a lot faster making your own things, especially if you know how to do both. Because you can like, you don't have to, you take away the talk part. You don't have to talk to the two sides. You don't have to make them figure out things. You don't have to bother.
No troubleshooting, no nothing else like that. You've got
the troubleshooting is on you. Yeah, it's on you and your own tears. Like I think I remember I have a hard time.
My name is Johnson & Johnson because I'm not putting up with any tears.
But yeah, I think that I had a lot of troubles like with the physics of like clothing, because I do have like a new jacket and everything, because it was keeping like entering my arms and not getting out.
She did say huge jacket. That was not an imperative statement. Okay, guys, let's just be very clear.
The jacket, okay?
Yes, the jacket.
Not talk about the huge ass. That came out very good. But no, the jacket that I have, look at the freaking jacket. Don't you dare looking at anything else. But the jacket was looking, poking out of the arm or something like that. And that took me a long time to figure out why it was not working. But at least I had to do it on my own. And not having to like poke the rigger and be like, why is he not working? So yeah.
Ivan Delgado says, can you talk about working on more than one project at a time? People forget that to pay the bills, we manage multiple clients and they get this false idea that we're taking forever or lazy. This is a really good comment. Thank you, Ivan. Celia, go ahead.
It's a very, very, very great one. Yeah. Working on more than one project at a time. That's what I'm doing like 24/7.
That was a deep sigh. That's like somebody that knows this struggle when you're like,
I feel you. But yeah, it's like a struggle. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of impersonally. This is I'm saying personally. I'm not saying that anyone feels like that. But for me, it feels nice to have multiple projects at one time because I don't do one single thing. I do not only do VTuber models. As I said before, I make VTuber models, I make illustrations, I make animations. So for me, it allows me to take a break. It's normal to feel burnout whenever you're making models because they take a long time to make. So if I want to take a break, but I still feel like working on something, I just need to take my eyes away from it. I can just like jump onto something else. But I know that this is like not everybody's luck. Everybody like maybe somebody like just does illustrations all day long. And in that case, it's tough. It is extremely tough because what do you do? I'm tired of making illustrations. I think at that point, what you need is like a very strong schedule. And what I noticed that a lot of people like is being extremely transparent with your clients by using like a Google Drive or a Trello page to show at what point of the work you're at and at what point of others people's work you're at. Because clients sometimes, like, of course, clients cannot know the amount of work that you do have. They can never guess it. Of course, they're not in your schedule, like seeing it. So usually making it public allows the clients to like, calm down a little bit. I have had my fair share of clients that like, if an hour after I didn't send them a sketch, they will like poke me. I was like, I am sleeping. I'm sorry to kill your commissions before going to sleep, but here it's night. There's always the time zone problem. People sometimes assume that sometimes people assume that I'm in the US while I'm like in Europe. I'm in Italy. So I'm like, I'm sleeping right now. For you, it's evening. That's nice. Enjoy it.
Sleep,
I'm trying to sleep.
So no, I absolutely get that. And I guess that's exactly what I was going to ask. And you answered the question just like I was thinking, which is when you need to take a break, do you go and work on something else? And you said absolutely, right? That's the answer. That is absolutely you do. That does help you, because I've seen other artists. I have friends that are artists and they do that all the time. They'll like be working on one thing and they're like, I need to take a break on this. And then they flick over and do something else. And I'm like, that's not a break. You're doing other work. And they're like, no, this is a break. And I'm like, okay, all right.
We like to lie to ourselves. We really love to do that.
Break, right? And and this is a significant amount, right? Amount of time, guys. So like when we talk about like paying the bills and stuff like that, like imagine someone in the chat broke it down. Like if it's 400 hours, that 3,500, that breaks down to $8.75 an hour, which is like minimum wage in many places, right? So like if you aggregate this out, it's actually very much in line with labor. In fact, it's probably even cheap. Meme says underboob rule was set because some creators were showing breast by mistake. The rule applies to VTubers, even though it doesn't make much. It makes zero sense.
Oh no, because what happened, if I remember correctly, they set up the rules to IRL streamers, but like they wrote the TOS of Twitch sometimes is written very weirdly, and it's not really up to interpretation, but sometimes it kind of feels like that, and they kind of included VTuber models too, of any kind, whenever they're 3D or 2D. And they didn't care about making any kind of like separation of some sort. Like I understand for IRL streamers, some stuff is like very not safe, but it always happened that IRL streamers found a way to like not get caught by this rule. But VTubers do not have that. They cannot like room around that easily. So we were the ones that got those things shot at us.
But the thing is, a model is static. So like you don't get the I accidentally flashed a boob, right? Like, no, you would have to toggle that somehow, right? Like that, like that need to be something baked in if it's a VTuber model versus an IRL streamer that can go, oh, whoops, right? This just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then they're the next controversy. Yeah. Which actually, by the way, the all those slap on a wrist punishments on Twitch where they give you the 1-day ban, that actually drives more traffic to them because of the ban, because the news comes out. NTR Uncle says, not sure if you've been over this. Sorry, the name kills me. When you're making different outfits for one model, do you have to draw a fully nude body first, or is it not necessary?
This is a wonderful question. I was actually waiting for this one. I gotta be honest.
Were you?
Because I actually do have a different outfit on this model.
Really?
Because when I made this model, my models usually have multiple outfits that I do reveal throughout the year. And I recently debuted with a new one. And I do have it on the model right now. Like I just need to click a little button. And because of this, I can tell you, when I made my own model, I fought before time to make all the layers underneath visible. not like the very, very, the juicy parts, but
Not the juice, not
the
the
parts
juice,
that I knew were going to be eventually uncovered and covered with other clothing. For example,
Okay.
I can show it. My new outfit is the golf outfit. A lot of people love golf girls, so I have to deliver, and here it is.
Oh wow, that's
I just
actually a really
just
smooth
like a little
transition.
toggle. Thank you. Just a
That was
little
actually
toggle.
like a really smooth transition.
Nothing crazy, but I
Yeah.
just had to make sure that like the layers like on the the layers like on the tummy, it went out. I added the skirt and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go lower because chat is gonna become crazy.
Listen. No, it's good. Yeah, we get that. I mean, listen, I grew up in the '90s. BTGG is a thing. We all know. But the chat knows. The connoisseurs of culture know. But yeah, no, it absolutely I think that makes it easier, right, for you. And I guess if you're making a model, you can bake that in saying, hey, look, I'm expecting different outfits. This isn't going to be a one-off. This is my only outfit. So I'm going to make it easy for me to just swap in an outfit when I want to create something new. Because like eventually you'll probably create a third outfit, right?
Exactly. Yeah, usually when I make VTuber models for also other people, usually they are the ones to tell me, but I want to just make sure you want eventually in the future new outfits, just let me know so I can make the layers underneath already to make it work when I'm going to do them. Because if it happens that I don't prepare the layers underneath, I might do a layer with like the clothing attached to the arm already. And, it's going to be a little bit more work when I'm going to have to add the other outfits in the future. Let me go back to normal.
It's kind of funny here. Nick was like, I thought she said golf. And then I was like, oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It throws me back. We had like in this is such a like bro thing, but like we had like bar golf in Los, like we did like bar golf where like you dress up like a tennis player or a golf player, right? And like girls wear skirts and stuff like that. So I was like, oh yeah, that could have been a thing. No, that's not what she was talking about. But I like the BTGG. I'm more of a fan of them. I'm gonna throw that out there. Real quick, we got a lot of questions here. Man, we're going a little long. Wild Kate says, as a retired designer, every time I think every artist needs to learn that point when a project is done. Otherwise, it can be overworked and too busy.
Yeah, you need to be very honest with yourself all the time. Like, it doesn't happen that much with VTuber models, but it does happen a lot with plain illustrations for me. I do use a painterly style, and it's very easy to spend too much time on those pieces. You never know when or where it stops. You're like, oh no, I'm gonna like redo the eyes. I'm gonna redo this arm. I'm gonna redo the hair, or this little speckle of light is wrong. Like you start to take too much time onto something, and you might take it away from other projects. It's one of those battles that you need to learn how to fight after a while that you start to be an illustrator or an artist in general. Like it's not a problem that you have when you start out. It's a problem that you start to have like along the way when you have like a multiple projects to work on and a tight schedule.
And it becomes an issue. Nick said, to this day, not even rock stars figure out how to make convincing flames. No shame in that. That's very true. Very true. Nick also said, I do not answer mail. I do not pick up the phone. The fridge is pretty much a home for mayonnaise alone.
Well, yeah, my fridge. Great.
Ube Halaya says, oh my God, finally catching a live stream. Woo! Yeah, absolutely. Glad you are here. Appreciate all y'all. All 500 please smash the like button. We're almost as many likes as we do viewers, which is awesome. So thank you guys for coming through and smash the like button. And also make sure you go over and subscribe to Sulia over there on the Twatters, right? Or on Twitch. Right, you can subscribe to her there. Otherwise, she's got all of her socials on her Twitter, so that's an easy one. But obviously, her primary place where she streams is over here on Twitch. If you want to see her there, so you can check that out as well and get in touch with her. Zalthris says, Sulia, do you also do male VTuber models? Since artists tend to only do female VTuber models or male VTuber models, only some artists do both. Very good question.
Very nice one. I do male VTuber models. I just I made 2 in total. The latest one.
Are their thighs thick?
One of them has them, yes.
Oh,
just one.
okay.
But they're kind of old. It was from the time that I did the model a month. So I haven't done one in a while, and I'm kind of missing it a lot. I really wish to go back to it because male VTuber models are interesting to. The art is like nothing crazy. What it's crazy is the rigging, because with female VTuber models you can do like hip sways and very specific type of feminine movements.
Yes.
With the male VTuber models,
Jiggles.
you can totally do that if you jiggles, especially with VTuber models that are male presenting. It's similar, but you can totally do that if you want to. But it will feel kind of weird because a male VTuber model is like a Dorito. It's Dorito shaped, you know. It has like large shoulders.
Which typically, right? Yeah, I mean, unless you're like intentionally creating a more feminine male model, right? Like unless that's your, that's the look, which whatever floats anybody's boat. But typically you're going to have a traditional, masculine looking model. It's going to be more, triangular, right? As men are, right? Because that's our difference in body shape. People in the chat, thick Andrew incoming.
Yes, good chat. Say that a couple more times. We need to convince him.
No. Zolfried says VTubers get the shitty rules for both IRL streamers and VR chat, but they don't get the breaks that you said. That's the thing. They're getting screwed on both sides. And that's why, look, each platform has its pros and cons, right? And that's why I say Twitch definitely has pros. I think for VTubers, there's a lot of big pros in Twitch, especially with the community functions, the raids, a lot of the emotes, stuff like that. But one of the other things is inconsistent rule enforcement, right? So, you're having that versus YouTube, where it's harder to build a community, but rule enforcement is pretty straightforward, right? People pretty much know what exists and doesn't exist. So there's obviously pros and cons to every platform. Sulia, I think that's most of what we got today. I promised you a certain period of time, and I think we went over, but did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I don't know.
Any questions for me?
I don't know. Nothing comes to mind. Any questions for you? Are we making the VTuber model for you? Please, the thick one. Please. Please, chat, help me out. Chat, help me out.
How many of you got me here, guys?
VTuber model.
They've got me here, guys. Oh no, I'm done. I'm gonna
give you a cool jacket, I promise.
I'm never beating the allegations, guys. I'm never beating the allegations. Copyright request for the art. Do it. Let's
Legal
go.
Thickest. Yes, I love that.
My birthday is coming up, so maybe that'll be a time in which I can say, it's my birthday. Let's wrestle up for a VTuber model. Oh my God, you guys are gonna make me do this. No, but seriously, it is coming at some point. I'm gonna make it happen. But that said, I really just appreciate you coming on. I also appreciate all artists out there. And guess what do you say? For inspiration for future artists, do you think there's room for more artists in the VTubing sphere?
Always. The VTuber community is growing like crazy. A lot more people are getting interested into VTubing, the VTubing world, how it works. And we are in need, actually, of artists, riggers. I first and foremost, I have way too many requests for VTuber models. We need you guys. We need more of you, okay? Come here. We need you. We need your talent and whatever thing that you can bring to the VTuber world. Even if you're just starting out now, you can make incredible things in little time sometimes.
And I think, we've now talked to rigging, we've talked about art, and you obviously do rigging as well. But, I think there's so much of the VTuber world from a business side, from a creative side. I want to talk with people about merch and other stuff they create and the business side of this. I think for VTubing, there's a really big, bright future. And I want to tell people, hey, look, what you're doing it's not just it's beyond essential. Without artists that create things, right, that are behind the models and do the rigging, this stuff doesn't get done. Yes, you can do it yourself, but it's not going to be the same industry if there weren't people that specialize in this and do this and focus on this, right? Generalists are never going to be as good as specialists. And having people that specialize in stuff and having now niches where We know who's the girl, anytime. And now burned into my memory, anytime I see a thick thigh anime wife, it's going to immediately be, so it's like in my mind, it's just done. Right. And that's so awesome that like you get to like carve out this niche and like own it and take it over. And this can be not just for you, but for everybody, right? Everybody can come in and be that guy who does that thing and is known for that style of art, is known for, rigging, is known for whatever merch, business, whatever else. I think there's a lot of room for it. Woof, that was a lot. Okay. Zolford says legally thick soy boy. The first part, I'm not offended by the thick part, but the soy boy part, come on, man. Come on.
We can make it work.
Come on. As long as it's Kenishiro JoJo thick.
Yeah. 100%. Yes. I love that. I would love that style for you.
A heads on confidence rush. Thank you for the Phone Flicker Mindset membership. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate you, brother. And thank you for the support today. Silbury said Legal Mindset Model Fund. Are there managers and coaches that consult and help one get off the ground and hold one hand through the process? I have ideas, but no plans. That's kind of a niche as well. Like, I think there would be, because you talked about this, Sulia, like at one point you kind of like stepping back and letting other people do it for you. And I thought, I'm like, at one point, there really is a place for like an artist agency where like there's somebody who's like quarterbacking the artists that are working on different projects, managing, right? Like maybe sharing assets, helping each other in whatever ways they can. I know it's very independent, but from a business standpoint, I just think about this. I'm like, yeah, that's going to happen at some point where people are just going to get artists
they already
together.
exist.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, there are like some. I'm sorry that I cut off where you were talking.
No.
I'm sorry.
I cut you off. You cut me off. It's a good thing. It's all right.
But no, there are already some groups of artists and riggers already working together under like some sort of management. It's not like a corporation of some sort, but it's just like pretty much a group of artists, like just a bunch of them together. I think one of the thing about is like Iron Vertex. Like they have a name, and it's a group of riggers and artists, and all of them have their own rates, their own prices. If you want to contact them, they're going to help you out, and they're not the only ones. They do exist in various places of the world, and although they're not affiliated with like corporations, they're there for indies.
Yeah, but I mean, like they're not affiliated, but like when they go here, like
oh yeah, okay, they have worked with a lot of people. Okay, but in that case, they work with them. They're like not.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Oh my god, too. Damn.
Clients.
I think I'm back.
That implies, clients. That implies they've done work for them. So I mean, that's pretty serious client list right there. But that said, once again, like there's more space for that, right? Because like obviously you're gonna have your platinums and you're gonna have your your below that, right? So like there needs to be more, right, for everybody, right? So in like every different price points. So I think there's going to be a lot of room for that in the future, and I really look forward to that like expansion of that, and also getting to reach out to people, talk to them about that, talk to them about the business side of it. I think it's very fascinating. Sprout says Florida Gator lawyer. Oh, I gotta play the clip. Hold on, where is it? I got it here. Hold on.
Maybe I have a chance. You goddamn crocodile! Go back to the fucking Florida! Go back to the Florida, you fucking crocodile!
It's a long clip, but it's a good one.
It's a great one.
Meme says, dear Legal Mindset, if you're to debut as a VTuber, it is useful to learn about debuts. It might be, so I have a folder, and it's like homework I need to do, and like studying debuts, like it's like my like training session of like looking at different debuts is something I do need to do. And I also need to work on an introduction. I've been sent the instructions on how to do that. But yeah, it's fun stuff. Sensoka says merch is a fun topic with a lot going legally and creativity. Yes, and that's why I would love to speak more with that. I want to get involved with, just talk with people that are making merch, maybe specifically with VTubers, right? Or stuff that's very heavily VTuber oriented, right? Because I'm not as interested in talking about stuff that's just, for everybody. I'm saying when you're working with VTubers, how do you deal with merch? How do you deal with merch contracts, right? It's very important. And a lot of people don't know about that. And especially if you're an indie, that's probably something you're kind of unfamiliar with, particularly when it comes to the logistics, the money, the prices. And thank you, by the way, for sharing your range today, because it's really good to give people realistic expectations of what to expect of a certain quality model. Herzog, another one, and then another one. Thank you for those other two. Thank you so much for Dank. And Crimson Splat says a corporate grouping could develop their own shortcuts and standards, make it quicker. Yes. Like there's ways for efficiency, for economy of scale. I know that like with creative endeavors, there's a lot of individuality, etc. But also like if you're able to go one place and shop a bunch of different types of styles of art all in one shop, that does make it easier. It really does. And thank you for the last one here, Herzog. So that's what I had for today. Do you have anything else you want to announce or kind of stuff you've got coming up, maybe for your streams or anything else, Celia?
Oh, I am waiting to think about it. Tomorrow I will be streaming. Like I usually do streams during the days of the week, minus Wednesday. There is like this scheduling there. That's like what I always follow. I just stream 5 hours a day. I am always drawing something and yapping a lot. Like if you want to talk about food, if you want to talk about art, about VTuber models, like really just enter, ask whatever you want. We welcome everybody in. And about things to announce, I think in a week or two, I will be able to make available again my art book online. I made a couple of art books between last year and this year, and I am still in the middle of like sending out the pre-orders. But once I'm done, if you ever feel like it, guys, I have made like these 2 little art books. They're like nothing impressive, but they do contain like my art and my work in progresses and a lot of sketches that I don't show anywhere, and a lot of like work around like VTuber models and stuff like that.
Cool. So yeah, guys, go over there, follow Celia, make sure you're subscribed to her on Twitter and Twitch. And I get a lot of clips, and some of them are a little too long for today. So I've got a really short one here, which was sent to me, which I think we've viewed a little bit this before. But since you guys are thirsty boys and girls today, we'll leave you a little bit of Bao being thirsty.
Perfect reaction. Perfect reaction. Yes.
Perfect reaction. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Catch you guys next time. Thank you, Celia.
Thanks so much to you.
Long